So it's cool. So brother, what's going on? How you been? How's everything? How are you handling quarantine?
Well, man, let me tell you this, man. The gigs have shut down on the brother.
Yeah.
But, it's just you got to roll with the punches, man.
Yeah.
No, this is new for everybody, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, most of my work, I'm a professional musician. I mean, I make a living playing music. So I'm yet teaching. I teach music online. So that brings in some income. But, my church will bless me for playing there. I'll play out at different restaurants, venues, weddings. Some people ain't even getting married now because of
I know.
they holding
Yeah.
up. but,
Yeah.
but I'm holding down, man. Everything's
Um,
good. My mom's doing great. My dad's doing
awesome.
great. They're in their 80s.
Oh, okay.
So we're trying to be careful with, washing our hands and, when we're
Yeah,
in their
definitely.
presence, trying not to get them infected with anything that might be out there, let alone our own selves. So
Definitely. And I think, when this first started, I'm still am worried. I'm still cautious. I was really worried about my parents, especially my mom. She has asthma. So, this is a disease that affects the lungs. And so, I was just very, very worried about her. But, thank God they're still doing good and they're hanging in there. And I'm glad that you're still doing good in your family. And we pray that we will get through this all together, nice and healthy. We'll
yes,
be on
sir.
the other
Yes,
side.
sir.
So again, bro, really do appreciate you taking time, to sit down and talk to me. This is something I look forward to. I was actually quite nervous, but I'm excited that we're getting this.
No, man, we
going.
good, brother.
So for the people that may not know who you are, you are a guitar player. How long have you been playing?
Woo! Let's go back to 1975.
Wow. Okay.
And were you born then?
I was born 85.
85,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. So 10 years. Right.
So let me give a little story since we have a little time, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
I'm gonna lay it all out there, bro, best I can. My dad had bought me a guitar when I was like in the 5th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Brought me a Fender amp and 6-string guitar, electric, and he gave me lessons with a Spanish guitarist.
Okay.
And he could play, man. And so I had like 2 lessons from him. And then I put it in the closet. I'm like, I'm done with this. This thing is tough, whatever. I don't know why, but I just put it in the closet.
Yeah.
And it sat there, man. And then my dad, he blessed me with a Wilson leather jacket.
Ooh.
Bro, now the color, this got to tell you the time. It was burnt orange, bro. So that was in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
Burnt orange, right? So I was so pumped that I got my leather jacket. Well, the very next day, someone broke into our home, my parents' home, stole my leather jacket and stole my guitar.
Oh, wow.
So, bro, I walked in the house, man, back window was open, and I'm coming in from school, and I'm scared, because my mom was at work, and, I had a key to get in. So I'm flipping, right? So the next day I had to go to school. Well, lo and behold, someone was trying to get in the jazz band with my guitar.
Oh, wow.
Dude, because someone said, hey, Bobby, I know where your guitar is. Someone's trying to get the band with it. So I went to the brother. I said, hey, man. I said, man, that's my guitar. He said, man, I bought this on the street for $5. I said, brother, I kindly give you $5 if you let me have my guitar back. Because he was a classmate of mine. He knew it was hot.
Yeah.
And he gave it back to me, bro.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I took it home. And then I was in the church, just got saved. And there was a brother playing guitar there. And he found out I had a guitar. So he said, I hear you got a guitar. I go, yeah. He goes, why don't you bring it? I'll show you how to play. I'm like, no, man, I can't play. No, can you imagine if I never would have brought it?
Yeah.
I brought it, all the fear I had. He taught me like 3 basic chords. And then I was like, I like this. And I just started studying, man. Studying, And I could go on and I don't know where you're going to
No,
stop.
no, that's fine. That's we're here to talk about you, talk about your beginning with music.
You know, uh, so that was my beginning. So I started playing in church, and it got so cool that I learned from this guy named Hersey Stovall,
Mm-hmm.
the Stovall brothers here in Fresno.
Oh, okay.
He would play guitar and run the bass at the same time.
Oh, wow.
So he taught me that little trick, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't care if it was a piano player, organ player, just give me a drummer like you, and it's on, boom, dum, 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 dum,
Yeah,
dum,
yeah.
dum, and we on, right?
Yeah.
So that was like cool, man. And then I moved to Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
and then someone actually paid me for playing. I'm like, man, I like this.
Yeah.
And I just started venturing out. I was able to, I used to sell cars for a living, but at
Okay.
the time, someone said, hey, Bobby, would you like to take a European tour? And at this time, well, I have to back up. Well, when I moved to Los Angeles, right?
Yeah.
We got time, right? Because I
No,
can
we got time. Yeah, yeah. Go for it. This is interesting. This is behind the scenes stuff. I'm cool with that.
So when I moved to Los Angeles, I had moved to Pasadena with a pastor, and I was playing organ. I could play in one key.
Oh.
And Edwin Hawkinson came to West Angeles Church. And I was in LA. So Edwin Hawkins coming, right? So I said, man, I gotta go. So I went, but I had my guitar with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Patrick Henderson was over the West Angeles choir. I don't know if you're familiar with Saints and Praise. When that whole Saints and Praise came out, maybe before your time, he got some of that stuff started.
Oh, okay.
So, but Edwin Hawkins did Edwin Hawkins seminar at West Angeles Church. And, West Angeles is this big mega church,
Mm-hmm.
Let me name drop. Stevie Wonder's a member.
Oh.
Magic Johnson, George Wallace, to name a few, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I go, and it was on a Saturday, and I see him practicing, right? And somehow I get in, sneak in, right? Because maybe it was supposed to be a closed rehearsal.
Yeah.
And afterwards, they had a little break. I said to Patrick, I said, hey, my name's Bobby. I said, you guys have a guitar player? Because I didn't see they had a guitar player. And who was on the stand was Andrew Boucher on bass, Howard McQuarrie on keys, Derek Schofield on drums, Chuck Cruth on organ. And I didn't know these guys at the time. I said, well, hey, you don't have a guitar player? I said, and I play guitar. And Patrick said, can you play? I said, yeah. So I brought my guitar in, practiced with him that one night. The very next day, I did the gig.
Oh, nice.
I was like, man. So after I did the gig, man, I'm pumped. I'm at this mega church, right? So I go back to Pasadena, and I just tell the pastor, I said, Pastor, I want to go to Los Angeles. He wasn't too happy, but members come and go, right?
Yeah.
And so I did. I went to West Angeles, and then I was on staff with Jimmy Newell, Michael Newell, Jason White, Patrick Henderson, all those cats, right?
Yeah.
And so that's how I started playing in the gospel scene. So, they would have like stars come in, like Dionne Warwick on the Christmas program, or Al Green, or Gladys Knight, or Kirk Franklin.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, I got them on my resume because, the Christmas program, I played with them, right?
Yeah.
Or Stevie Wonder might come up from the audience and play a song from the pastor's request. So that's how I kind of got my resume built up, right?
Nice.
But at the time, I was still selling cars. So I wasn't a full-time musician. Mm-hmm. And then someone said, Bobby, how would you like to do a European tour with no audition?
Wow.
And I'm like, what? He said, yeah, just on the strength of my name. You got the gig if you want it. So I packed up. In 3 days, I was living in an apartment in Hawthorne, packed it up, We did all the paperwork, all the pay, what they were going to pay me per diem and all that. And I was off to New York for 3 weeks.
Oh, nice.
Now check this out.
Uh-huh.
The guy that got me in,
Mm-hmm.
after we did all the rehearsals and we were about to go to Europe for the tour, he got fired.
Oh, wow. Oh.
He got fired, bro. So it was just God blessing me to get in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Don't feel sorry for him because he got to get with Phil Collins.
Oh, Phil Collins. Oh, man.
So yeah, he was all right. He was all right.
Yeah.
I was able to do a 6-month tour in Europe
Wow.
with
Wow.
all the gospel singers.
What was that like? First time crossing
Bro,
over? What was that like?
dude, it was like actually being, because I was selling cars all this time, you know,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
actually do what I enjoy for a living was amazing.
Nice.
If we would be walking all through the city and you know, we didn't have to gig until like from 7 o'clock until 9 o'clock, and we were done with the show.
Okay. Yeah.
We were traveling from city to city in buses, you know, so you know, I'll see people typing in the window and stuff, and I'm walking by with my gig bag on, you know, being cool, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's just amazing, man. It's just a lot
Nice.
of fun, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's, I mean, for the people that get to do what they love, I mean, I've heard that there's nothing more rewarding than doing something that you love, you know, and especially, I mean, you were like, this is your first time. So, I mean, that must feel just completely like walking on clouds, right? Like,
Yeah,
crazy.
it was amazing, man.
Yeah. So you said that was 3 months that you're out there, or
6 months in Europe.
6 months? Oh, 6 months. Oh, wow. Okay.
We went to like Italy, you know, Rome, Paris, um, Germany, and just all over. It was a nice tour.
Yeah. So, okay, I want to ask you that. What did those 6 months teach you as a person? Not just as a musician. What did it teach you as a person?
Discipline.
Discipline. Okay. And
Because you're basically out on your own.
mhm,
You have no mother, you don't have no father. No one say, come in, sound check is at 5 o'clock.
yeah.
You're in another country, bro. You can't
Oh
miss
yeah.
a sound check,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So discipline, that's what it taught me the most.
Okay. Awesome.
Be on
And
time, you know, have your work ethic, you know, because we did all the rehearsing.
mhm,
The show was the same show every show. And we did like 120 shows or something.
wow. Oh, okay. And what did it teach you as a musician?
As a musician,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
keep my nose clean.
Okay.
Stay out of the gossip.
Okay.
As a musician, there's so many facets to musicianship. You know, being on time. That's what, you know, staying out of the business of. It's just like a job. You know, if
Yeah.
you working at McDonald's, right? And you know, you on the fry machine. And you worried about somebody else doing something else, and then now you're in their business. So when I say keep your nose clean, staying out of people's business was huge, because we're on a bus,
Yeah.
and it's just we're traveling, and we're like family now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when it comes to learning things, I mean, everything I learned before I went.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I know. I mean, I personally have played with some church groups and church bands, and we're human beings. We all come with different perspectives, and sometimes there's clashing. You clash as musicians. I mean, you clash as human beings sometimes, but that does tend to happen. But you learn how to resolve those problems, and unite with one purpose, which is to play together and minister to people. So it's a lot of lessons learned when it comes to, and it's quite difficult to bring people together because again, we all come with different perspectives, but we all tend to grow and mature, and it's beautiful when you grow with people, with other human beings. So 6 months, that's a long time.
Yeah, it was a long gig, man. But it was fun.
Yeah. So you have written your own music before, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have some music out.
Yeah, I actually have a couple singles.
Yeah.
I have a tune I wrote on my street that I live, Deering Avenue.
Yes. And actually, I can actually show you. I have my my Spotify up. That is actually one of the most played songs on my phone.
Wow, come on, bro.
I'm being serious. Actually, matter of fact, well, I can put it up. But for real, like that's I listen to that song so much. It's actually one of my. I have like I'm a big jazz guy. I love jazz.
Okay.
So and actually, I have a playlist on my Spotify. That's excuse me. That's called Giving Avenue. Just because that's the first song, and then a bunch of other songs.
Right.
And it's. And man, when I first heard it, I'm like, oh my gosh! I'm like, this is so. Oh my god! I just love the little intro. I
Okay.
was like, oh. So as a someone who writes his own music, I love to ask musicians this: what is the writing process like for you? How does it start? Does it start with a melody? Did you hear something, or what inspires you to write music? And it's different for everybody.
Can I give you an example?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Got my guitar right here.
Okay. We're getting. Oh my gosh, we're getting this on Symphony podcast. This is awesome. Go for it.
So if I was doing something, I was just messing around. Yeah, I'm like, oh man, that's nice. I can go.
Yeah.
That's my groove, right?
Nice. Yeah.
So I'll have the metronome go tick, 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 tick. I can change it. Tick, 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 tick.
Oh yeah.
Right? Okay. So that's laid, right? Then I'll go back and put in my kick. I could put in my bass, or I can put in my kick. So I go doo ba doo ba doo, a doo ba doo, doo ba doo ba doo ba doo, a doo ba doo ba doo ba doo, or however I want to do it, right?
Yeah.
Then come back with the, maybe kick, tap, boom, tap, boom, and then your hi hat, and you just build upon it, and that can be just like your little hook or whatever.
Nice. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's awesome. So, what you said that song was inspired by a street that you lived on?
Yeah, Deering Avenue was a street I lived on, and so, even when I'm just like writing at night or something, you gotta give something a song where it won't let you save, right?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It won't let you save. So I'll be coming up with weird names, like at 3 o'clock at night, I'll go 3 a.m.
Yeah.
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 I done ran out of Pacific Coast, late night.
Yeah.
And
Like for
then
example,
you can always change the name later,
definitely.
but you have to give it a name to save. And I think when I wrote that, I just said, Deering Avenue.
Nice. And who else played on that song? Was it all you, or did you have other musicians?
Bro, let me tell you, Matt Godina.
Okay.
Produced that.
Okay.
He did everything.
Wow.
All I did was the melody and the solo.
Okay. Oh wow.
He did everything.
But
I did what I just did right there. I laid the drums, bass, keys, because I play low keys, right? And then he took it and did what a keyboard player is supposed to do. Right? Yeah. And he did the rhythm guitar on it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I liked the track just the way it was. I didn't have to alter it. I'm like, man, I'm a guitar player. I could have put guitar on it, but the guitar he put on was so nice. I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wait till now. Yeah. No, it's crazy.
Ego, right, man? He laid it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all I had to do was and I held on to that song for almost 2 years.
Really? Okay. So what made you just put it out? Why did you keep it for 2 years?
I just never did the solo. I never did the melody.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That was it. Everything was right. Everything you hear, he did.
Okay.
So once I put my part on it, then I sent it to a guy named Lou Lang. He mastered it. He mixed it for me.
Okay.
Then I had it mastered.
Nice. Well, man, I'm telling you, like I said, that's one of my favorite songs. I've listened to it so much. If you go back to Spotify and you see how many listens, it's this guy right here. This guy just listens so much. It's so awesome, man. So it's so cool. So you've played with a couple bands, right? I know you did. I've seen you. I mean, I've been following you on Facebook for a long time, and I've seen you play with a couple groups. You've done a couple projects with other people. Has that all been local, or has it been out of the state?
Um, both. I've
Both. Okay.
done. Well, let's just talk about gigging wise. Here in Fresno, I used to gig with a gentleman, but he's no longer living. But his name was Papa Bear. He was a drummer.
Okay.
That kind of got me going here in the Fresno area, playing, you know, like some soul R&B stuff. And then I hooked up with Jeanette Harris, which is a saxophonist.
Okay. Yes, I remember that.
Which now she's out there and doing her thing, just killing it, right?
Yeah.
And then back home, well, LA was my home for a little bit. I played with some groups back there, you know, played with Kurt Carr for a short season, Daryl Coley.
Oh, wow.
Danny Bell Hall, Ordinary People. She came out with that 2 years ago. I played Andre and Sandra Crouch's church.
Oh, interesting.
I played for, these are concerts when Fred Hammond came to Fresno. I played with him. So I'm name dropping right now, right?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Okay, really quick. So did you get a chance to play with Marvin McQuitty?
No.
Oh, okay.
I only played when Fred came here, he used people in Fresno.
Oh, okay. He didn't bring his whole band. Oh, okay.
Now, one guy I did play with his band was, and this was the CMAs, a guy named Dwayne Goldberg brought, we used to do things at the Save Mart. He brought Ty Tribbett here.
Oh, wow.
And I played with Ty's band.
Oh, his band is something else.
And I forgot the name of that tune, but it was real strong guitar at the beginning. And I was like, oh, I gotta make sure I learn this line. But yeah.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I think if I'm not mistaken, his brother plays bass, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah, my brother had shown me, and my friend Enrique have shown me some of like the band, and I'm just like, man, the bass player is something else. He's a whole nother league.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah. So I don't mean to cut you off. I know you were talking about some of the groups that you played with.
Yeah. Back in the day, see, I got some old stuff. You talking to an OG right here. They call me OG. Why do you call me OG, Doc? No, man. But I played on Joe Ligon's. I don't know if you ever heard of the Mighty Clouds of Joy. Joe Ligon was their lead singer.
Okay.
It was James Cleveland presents Joe Ligon. Okay, and that was back in the day. Have you ever heard James Cleveland?
That rings a bell. I'm sure. Actually, my introduction to gospel music, because I grew up in a Hispanic home, so our music was like Marcos Witt, and we grew up with that. My introduction to gospel was Fred Hammond. That was my introduction.
Yeah. See that.
So I'm like Fred Hammond on like this.
Oh,
that was my introduction. So I missed out
all that stuff. Commission.
Yeah, I've gone back and listened to the Commission stuff, and man, it's amazing. But yeah, my introduction was Fred Hammond, and so I kind of missed out on some of the previous stuff.
You got to check out James Cleveland, because he was like one of the fathers of gospel back then. I know Tommy Dorsey was like the main cat way back in the day, but look up James Cleveland. Who else? Keith Pringle in the Pentecostal Choir.
Okay.
That's another cat to look up. And so I haven't worked with a lot of major artists that are happening today, but I've done some projects.
Nice.
Jason, he lives in St. Thomas. Jason Jordan.
Okay.
He used to play for your guy, Fred Hammond.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jason Jordan.
Okay.
And so I played on a couple projects for him, and
nice.
Some local stuff. And
yeah. See, I know here locally, I've seen you play with a friend of mine that I've known him since he was little. We call him Q Quetzal, bass player.
Oh man, yeah, Q, man. Dude, those my cats.
Yeah, and you play with Caesar piano.
Oh, Caesar, Gato.
Yeah, he's something else. I tell him like I bow.
Play anything, man.
Yeah, that kid. I actually met him at a church that I was going to through a mutual friend. He brought him, and I was just like, "Who is this guy, man? He plays. He's a great musician, and he actually played with Gilbert. Some of his last projects, he played bass for him.
Yeah.
I actually saw the live you guys did.
Yeah, we played. I'm trying to think of. We played for a saxophone player together. I think that's how we kind of hooked up.
Oh, okay.
His name is. I can't think of it. Rich Levy, saxophone player. We did some smooth jazz at the Standard with him.
Oh, nice. Is he a local?
Yeah, he was local, but I think he moved up north.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so that's how you met Caesar?
With Gil, you know, I used to play with him at the Worship Center.
Okay.
In Fowler.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, he mentioned that church. Okay.
Yeah. And
so I've seen you play with Spoonie.
Oh man, I talked to Spoonie today.
Really? See, I actually went to their school.
Oh, okay.
So I know Brother OJ, Sister Sonia, Elgin, his sisters, Spoonie. I know, man, I know them all because I went to their school when I was like in the 7th and a little bit of 8th grade. So I got to meet them. So it's so cool.
I talked to Mom Johnson today, man.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yes, yeah.
God bless her. I haven't talked to her in such a long. Ever since? Well, I think since like middle school. I haven't talked to any one of them. Elgin, every now and then I would say hi to him on Facebook, and Spoonie as well. Not the long ago I said hi to Spoonie, so it was so cool to talk to him.
Yeah, man.
And Spoonie, he's something else too. That guy.
I did a tune with Spoonie called "Dish Ran Away with the Spoon."
Oh.
My dad named it that because he heard it's real funky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a recording of that anywhere?
Yeah. It's like 11 minutes long. My dad loved it. I hate it.
Oh, really? Why is that?
I don't know. To me, sometimes you're the worst critic of what you do. You know, and it was so long ago, and to me, it sounds dated. You know?
Oh, okay, got you.
But it makes you move when you hear it. You know, so. Maybe I'm just hard on my stuff.
I think anybody who creates anything, I think you're your worst critic.
Yeah.
I am. I'm telling you, just simply with this whole podcasting, I don't like the sound of my voice. I really don't. I've actually have scrapped total episodes because I didn't like the way I sound. I'm just like, no, it's horrible. I don't want to hear it. So I think everybody is. You're very tough when you're a creator. You're very tough on your own stuff. But it's kind of hard.
Exactly.
It really is. So I do want to ask you this because you've had a very long musical career, and I definitely wish you many more years. I do want to ask this: what has been that one moment that has been like the highlight of your career so far? Because I truly believe you're going to have more. But what has been the highlight so far?
I'm trying to think. I've had so many.
Yeah. I mean. Yeah, you've had a very long career.
I teach my friends. I always say, man, if I could sing, I wouldn't even talk to you no more. All that, right? God didn't give me a voice like that. Keep me low. No, but
keep humble.
Yeah, keep me humble, man. I'm trying to biggest. I don't know, man. It's just I can say. You know, playing in front of thousands of people, like maybe 10,000 people at one time. I don't know. I can't answer that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anytime I'm on the stage and just playing, man, it feels good to me.
Awesome,
you know, whether it's in a little church, whether it's at a restaurant, you know, it's just, I don't have no. Now, there's been times when I played and I go, man, you know, I nailed it, man, you know? You feel good, you know, and then you go, oh man, I blew it. You know, oh, my guitar was out of tune. Oh, what was I thinking on that note?
Yeah.
Ooh, did they hear that note? Oh, I bet they heard it. Yeah, they're talking about me right now. Yeah.
That's funny. Oh yeah, it's like I said, I mean, I've actually played drums with some people who are way better than I am, and I mean, I personally get nervous all the time. I always do. I'm just like, oh man, I hope I keep the beat. Because you know, the drums is like the heartbeat of a song. You get off for half a second, you throw everybody off, you know? And I get so like nervous and sweaty, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I haven't had a chance to play with Caesar. I think I wouldn't be able to hang with Caesar. I would be way too nervous. I'd be like, nah, get another drummer, you know. But it is fun. Music. I think we were talking about this before we started recording. That music is such a universal language. You can have people from different cultures, from different backgrounds, and just what will unite them is music. And that is such a very beautiful thing to see. You know, I've seen people play with people who don't even know each other. They don't like. I saw. I'm a big fan of like film scores.
Oh, okay.
Big fan. So there's a guy named Hans Zimmer who I am like a big time junkie. I love all his music. He actually did if I'm not mistaken, it was a soundtrack for Sherlock Holmes, and he went to like a different country and he got their musicians. And again, they didn't understand each other. They didn't speak the same language, but music was their language, and that united them for like those couple of days that they were recording and writing. And that always inspires me. And I do want to touch on this very briefly because of what we see that's happening currently, you know, in the world with the pandemic, which is a very frightening time for a lot of people. I personally know friends who have gotten it, who have survived, and you know, but it's a very frightening time because you don't know. You know, some of us have gotten a little afraid to even go outside. But I mean, what has been so comforting has been music. It has, and I think that's where I want to thank you for having your music, for being, you know, for doing what you do, and you know, I definitely wish you many more years of success. I really do appreciate your career as you know until right now. So it's really amazing to see you grow.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you do teach, right? I think that's what I've
Yeah.
heard. You're teaching. I saw that you teach at Guitar Center.
Yeah, I'm not there anymore.
Oh,
So
okay.
at this time, because of COVID, you know, I'm teaching online.
Okay.
So I give online lessons, beginning piano, you know, bass, guitar.
Nice.
So
So for anybody who would like to get in contact with you, where can they find you? Is there you have a website, or they can get a
um,
hold of you?
Facebook,
Okay.
that'd be the biggest. Yeah, just look up Bobby Griffin, Bobby Griffin Jr. Facebook, or they can, you know, email me. You know,
Perfect.
Bobby Griffin Guitar at yahoo.com.
Nice. Okay. And I'll make sure to, when I put this out, I'll make sure to include your email for anybody who wants to reach out to you, would like to get some classes. Like I said, you actually taught a mutual friend of ours, Jarius. You actually taught him. We talked about him, and
Man,
he's.
listen,
Uh-huh.
that kid, I haven't heard him in a long time, but he probably, you know how they say the teacher teaches the
Okay. Yeah.
student goes like this?
Yep.
I haven't heard him, but I bet he's like that. I
Yeah.
heard him a few years ago, and he's just incredible.
Yeah. I remember when I first heard him was at a youth camp, and you know, obviously being a musician, you're drawn to the music. And I just heard like a little guitar, and I'm like, who's this? Like, who's this guy? And I was like,
Well, his mom brought him to me
oh, really? Okay.
with just a guitar. He didn't know squat,
Nothing.
nothing. So that's like one of my little proteges, man. I'm so proud.
Nice.
You know,
Yeah.
just someone that just said, I want to play,
Yeah.
and put in the time and did it. Man, he's amazing. Yeah, yeah.
And I think that right there is awesome because, I you know, and I guess I don't want to ask you this, but you kind of already answered the question is because you know, unfortunately, one day we're all gonna be gone from this earth. Yeah, that's
Right.
hopefully not soon. Many more years. Let's pray for that. You know, but what legacy would you like to leave behind when Bobby Griffin is done? What legacy would you like to leave behind?
Powerful right there, man. I just want to be known for someone that was honest and someone that always tried to help somebody.
Gotcha. And that's awesome. That's really awesome. And I do have to ask for this as well. If you had to choose, let's say five, what are your top five favorite albums of all time?
Weekend in LA, George Benson.
Okay. Oh, George Benson. I know him.
Quiet Times by Andre Crouch.
Okay.
That's going way back. You have to look that up.
Yeah, I know Under Crocs, but I have to definitely go check that one out.
I can't think of some, but George Duke was a big pull with me, you know. Gospel wise, another gospel guy was Whitfield, Thomas Whitfield.
Okay.
See, these some cats. Go do some research.
Yeah, I will.
Rewind this, man.
I will. I'm gonna have to.
And it's just, you know, saying 5 that limits me, you know, and I can't even put them in categories, and I'm not even.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much music, man. I mean, the Hawkins.
Okay.
My number 1 gospel group was Hawkins, Andre Crouch.
Andre Crouch. Okay.
Number 1. Number 2.
Yeah.
Because they were pace setters.
Yeah.
You know, Hawkins came out with "Oh Happy Day." It was on the rock and roll charts.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh Happy Day.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, that was the Hawkins.
Man. Wow. I've heard that song. I didn't even know that. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, you left me having to do a lot of homework now, so I'm gonna go and do my research.
Yeah, man. It's and then of course, you know, I mean, I love the new music too. I mean, you know, the new. I love a lot of styles.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a big heavy metal fan. You know, but the musicianship is incredible if you look at it from that. You know, but I look at music like this: music is not a sin. I never believed that. I was taught that as a kid coming up. But let me ask you this. You hear that note? Is that gospel or secular?
It's just a note.
How about this one?
Still a note. To me, it just still sounds like a note.
So what's going to make the difference?
Yeah.
Love. To work. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
I hate you. And I hate your guts.
That's funny. Yeah.
Huh?
It's true.
What?
Yeah.
What category you gonna put that in?
Exactly. Yeah.
Main chorus, bro.
Yeah.
So it's the meaning behind everything, you know?
True.
I think that's the most important thing. I threw away 4 jazz collections because of someone else's conviction. I'll never forget that. And I try not to be bitter about it. And I'm not, at the time, I was like, man, I could have had, you know. But it was my experience. My coming up in the church was Pentecostal, very controlling. All the things I wanted to do then that they say I couldn't do is what they're doing in the church and accepting today.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree.
Bro!
Yeah.
We dancing in the church. I want to dance in.
Yeah.
You know, so but I get where they were coming from because their heart was right. And no heart. They just didn't want to strung out on drugs. They saw secular artists that were strung out on drugs, so they figured if we listen to their music, we're going to get strung out on drugs.
Yeah.
I get it. Their intent was good, but sometimes it could be damaging for people that was brought up that way. But I made it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I agree with you on that because, again, like I grew up in a Hispanic Christian apostolic home. That's what we grew up. And I'm grateful for my upbringing. Definitely a lot of lessons learned. But as again, even though I've always, again, listened to like, you know, the Spanish worship music, I always had this attraction to hip hop. It's always been my thing, especially 80s rap, 90s rap. It's just like the best. Yeah, you know, that's just, I mean, and I was actually, I've shared the story a couple times. My first introduction to hip hop music was Gangsta's Paradise by Julio. That was the first time. And first time, you know, I've always been attracted to rhythm. Since I was a little kid, I always looked at two people in the church, the preacher and the drummer. Always.
Wow.
You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
and I said I wanted to do both of those things, you know, and praise God, I'm able to do that now. But I've always been attracted to rhythm. So hearing this style of music that's very, like, you know, centered around rhythm was just attractive to me. And of course, I couldn't go to my dad and be like, Dad, hey, can I have some money to go buy the new, I don't know, NWA album? Or, you know, you just couldn't do that in the church. You had to, you know, and there was no Christian hip hop back then. I didn't know about that. I was new. So it was very frustrating because, you know, I wanted to listen to music that I was drawn to, but you couldn't. And now, yeah, you see now in church, you have some of these artists, you know, throwing hip hop inside and in the church and everything. It's like, man, well, where was that when I was a teenager? You know, I completely agree with you. Definitely agree with you on that. So again, so I'm sure you've seen how much music has evolved over the years.
Oh yeah.
Um, has that been a challenge to you as a musician to have you had to adapt to the styles, or have you just, you know, as a musician, has it been difficult for you to adapt?
Not really, because adapting to the styles, when you think about gospel,
Mm-hmm.
it encompasses almost every style that's out there, bro.
True. It's like a mixture of
Everything.
everything. Yeah.
Rock, blues, jazz, funk, it's all right there, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, it's just, you know, what are the chords and what are the rhythms? That's the only thing that separates styles to me. It's
Okay.
really the rhythm.
Yeah.
You know, what would you call that? I don't know. Let's put a name on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It just play some
You know,
stuff to it. Yeah.
what is that? Oh, I don't know. Let's call that jazz.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
True. You got the gospel stuff. Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, what are we gonna call that? We're gonna call that gospel. You know, and so everything. Remember what note was secular and which one was gospel? You told me no difference, right?
Yep.
So we categorize things.
Definitely.
Such is life, you know.
Exactly.
White shirt, red shirt.
Yep. Yeah. So sure. At the end of the day. So yeah. All right. So I do have to ask you one final question. I want to ask you. So for all these young kids that perhaps will watch this, that what's the one piece of advice that you would like to give to young upcoming musicians? What's one advice that you would like to give them?
Well, if they want to become, you know, a musician and do it for a living, basically, is study what you want to do. You know, like me, when I was a kid, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I came up in school. And you know how you used to tell kids, what do you want to be? What do you want to be? I want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
I want to be a lawyer. I want to be. And I was sitting there, bro, like, I didn't even know. Had no clue. So it wasn't until I started playing in the church, and then I got paid. I didn't have to get paid for what I enjoy doing. That ain't even work. So I really just started practicing. So any upcoming musician, I just say, you know, if it's guitar you want to learn, practice. I mean, put in the time, put in the hours. I would practice, bro, sometimes 3-4 hours, and fall asleep with the guitar on my chest. Wake up in the morning, go to school, boom, 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 come in, do my homework, play again.
Yeah.
Because I wanted it.
Exactly.
So everybody that you see that's like really successful have put in the time.
Yeah. And it wasn't an overnight. And I think that's, in a way, that worries me a little bit of, I mean, it doesn't happen with every young person nowadays, but you see it where everybody wants to become like an overnight success. And that's just not how it works. I mean,
everybody got to pay their dues, bro.
Yeah. I mean, and then there's times where I do believe that you have to be prepared for when doors open. I'm a firm believer. It's simply, we just have what happened with you. You know, this door happened to open, allow you to tour Europe for 6 months. You were prepared. You were ready. And I think that's one thing I hope that I mean, again, it's not all these young kids, but for the majority, I hope that they do take on that attitude of, you know what, I have to be ready. For when the door opens, I'm ready to answer the call at any time. You know, we just never know when God will open such doors. So I think that's hopefully the generation takes more of that on. So. But before we end, is there any last words? Anything you would like to say?
No, bro, I'm good, man. We didn't
You know,
talk about the president, so I'm good.
oh, we could definitely do a B-side when it comes to that. We could definitely do that some other time, perhaps. But bro, really, thank you so much for this opportunity, bro. Really, I really am grateful for your time. You know, thank you again for your career, for everything that you do, and I'm still waiting for more music. That's all I'm waiting for.
Right on, man.
Waiting for more music, bro. Like I said, Doing Avenue is up there for me. So it's amazing, and I can't wait to listen to more music from you, bro. So again, thank you so much just for sitting here and talking to me, bro. And I definitely wish you the best, and hopefully this won't be the last time we sit down and talk.
All right, I appreciate you.
Either, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All right.